Hey everyone, welcome to Open Verse Plus, where we bring legendary cultivation stories to life through vivid narration and immersive sound. If you enjoy our storytelling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to support the channel. Your encouragement gives our team the strength to create even more epic journeys ahead. Now, let's return to the world of Renegade Immortal. In the previous episode, Zhou Yi gave Wang Lin a great and selfless gift. He severed his eternal bond to one of the Rain's celestial swords, granting Wang Lin full ownership over it, a treasure that would endure beyond time and reincarnation. With Xu Liguo receiving the inheritance of the ancient sword intent, Zhou Yi then led Wang Lin deep into the mysterious tide abyss, searching for the remnant aura of a past sword spirit known as wealth. But at the bottom of that endless pit, something else stirred, a strange voice whispering, "Go down," from within Wang Lin's own bag of holding. The story continues. Deep within the dark and dangerous corridors of the tide abyss, Wang Lin sensed something unusual. A sudden violet glow shone from his bag of holding, and when he extended his divine sense, he discovered that the mysterious scroll he had once found on Suzaku had opened by itself. From within the scroll, a faint shadow of a woman appeared, beautiful, graceful, and familiar. Her back faced Wang Lin, and her soft whisper echoed in his mind, "Go down." This voice stirred Wang Lin's memories. He had seen this figure before, when she had emerged from the scroll to control the beasts of the third ancestor. Even now, he didn't fully understand the scroll's origin, though he had managed to leave an imprint upon it long ago. He had never been able to control it, but this time, the woman's whisper seemed like a command. Wang Lin's gaze shifted toward the deep pit beneath him. Darkness swallowed everything below, an endless abyss that exuded danger. As he pondered the connection between the scroll and this strange pit, Zhou Yi's voice echoed from ahead. He warned Wang Lin not to look down again. The pit had a mysterious force that could drag even a strong mind into madness. Wang Lin steadied his thoughts and followed Zhou Yi deeper through the corridor. As they moved forward, an eerie purple mist began to rise from the pit, spreading swiftly and filling the air around them. The mist distorted the senses. Divine perception could extend no farther than 30 feet before vanishing. As if swallowed by the void, even the strongest spiritual power felt devoured within its reach. Suddenly, Zhou Yi's celestial sword appeared before Wang Lin. Slicing through the haze, Zhou Yi's voice grew faint and distant as he warned that the mist was strange and dangerous. He urged Wang Lin to step onto the sword so they could escape together. Without hesitation, Wang Lin complied. The moment he stood upon the celestial sword, a surge of celestial spiritual energy flowed through his body. Zhou Yi's calm but firm voice guided him to stabilize his energy and guard his mind. Wang Lin followed, forming a shimmering barrier of celestial energy mixed with sword qi around himself. The light pushed the purple mist away, forming a tunnel through the darkness. Then, the celestial sword shot forward, its speed so great that the world blurred into streaks of violet and black. The mist around them twisted and roared like dragons, while the sword cut through them effortlessly. Wang Lin could feel the wind tearing at his face, the pressure so immense that he had to channel all his strength just to stay balanced. Zhou Yi's voice echoed again, announcing that the aura of the Rain's celestial sword's previous spirit was close ahead. He warned Wang Lin to brace himself. In the next instant, the celestial sword accelerated even further, so fast that afterimages appeared, the world warping around them. Though this wasn't teleportation, their speed rivaled it. The barrier of light around Wang Lin stretched tight against his body as the sword tore through space itself. But before they could reach safety, the abyss below erupted. The purple mist churned violently as an overwhelming suction force burst from the pit, pulling everything toward it. Gravel and debris were sucked in, and even the enormous golden sword embedded in a distant wall was dragged free. Wang Lin recognized that sword. It was one he had seen before. Zhou Yi turned sharply and dove straight toward the falling blade, battling the pit's suction. As they caught up, Wang Lin reached out and seized the golden sword. Immediately, an immense force tried to pull him down into the pit. The strain was tremendous. His body trembled as though torn between two worlds. Desperate, Wang Lin unleashed the power of the underworld river. A dark current spiraled around him, forming a vortex that countered the suction. Slowly, he began to pull the sword upward. Zhou Yi roared, his sword blazing with celestial light as he pushed them both toward the surface. Wang Lin's veins bulged, his expression filled with fierce determination. Inch by inch, the massive sword rose from the darkness. The gold coating peeled away, revealing a pitch-black blade beneath. The jewels on its hilt shattered, scattering into the abyss below. Finally, with one last burst of power, Zhou Yi broke through the edge of the pit. Wang Lin let out a roar and dragged the sword free. As it landed in his grasp, he noticed a single word carved into the blade: wealth. For a brief moment, countless memories flashed through his mind, echoes of the past, of struggle and discovery. He took a deep breath and stored the weapon safely in his bag of holding. This was not the time to study it. He and Zhou Yi needed to escape the tide abyss. Together, they sped through the corridor, heading toward the exit that led to the fire demon country. Within his bag of holding, the mosquito beast stirred, sensing familiar auras in the distance, though it couldn't understand why. Far away, in the skies above the demon spirit land, an auspicious celestial cloud glided gracefully from the south. It shimmered with divine light and celestial energy, illuminating the heavens with vibrant colors. Upon it stood a man and a woman, Wang Wei and Hu Wan, the celestial cloud cultivation couple. The man's blue robe rippled like azure clouds, and his calm expression radiated the bearing of a true celestial. The woman beside him wore a lavender dress embroidered with delicate flowers, her beauty serene and refined. They were a perfect pair, powerful, elegant, and united in spirit. The cloud they rode was not an ordinary mist but a rare treasure, refined from the ninth heaven cloud itself. Filled with celestial lightning, only beings of immense cultivation could command such a divine artifact. Their presence was awe-inspiring. Even the all-seer treated them with caution. As they approached the fire demon country, the skies trembled. The demonic soldiers below dared not rise to look. When the cloud descended near the tide abyss exit, it dissipated in a soft glow, leaving the two cultivators standing upon the earth. The man, Wang Wei, smiled faintly as he examined the area. Interesting, he murmured. These restrictions are quite clever. The woman, Hu Wan, gazed at him with gentle admiration. There aren't many things in this world, she said softly, that can still catch your attention. The gentle wind brushed across the land, swaying the grass and rustling the robes of a man and a woman who stood side by side above the fire demon country. The man's eyes gleamed with curiosity as he studied the faint traces of light on the ground, powerful restriction spells that had been carefully hidden beneath layers of earth and grass. These restrictions are remarkable, he said softly, admiration flickering in his voice. They contain traces of ancient techniques, and even a hint of celestial restriction. Not simple at all. The woman beside him tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, her tone graceful and calm. The ancient restrictions are well crafted, but the celestial ones are rather crude. Whoever made these must have only recently begun studying celestial methods. The man, Wang Wei, known as the Cloud Celestial, nodded thoughtfully. Then it must be a cultivator with ancient heritage, someone who has practiced for at least 10,000 years to reach such mastery of old techniques. The woman, Hu Wan, smiled faintly and shook her head. You can't be certain of that until you meet the one who set them. Wang Wei's lips curved into a playful smile. Wan are you challenging me? How about a bet? If the creator of these restrictions hasn't cultivated for 10,000 years, I'll admit defeat. Hu Wan's gentle laugh carried through the breeze. Since when did something so trivial attract the attention of the great cloud celestial Wang Wei, who claims to see through all restrictions in the heavens? Wang Wei chuckled, then crouched down, pointing at a patch of grass before them. You see, these restrictions aren't just hidden, they're layered. A network of traps bound by divine sense. Step into one, and the creator would instantly know. But that's not what caught my attention. He gestured again. The grass bent with the wind, but one solitary blade swayed differently from the rest. Wang Wei's eyes sharpened, and with a flick of his wrist, he pressed the surrounding grass flat, leaving that single blade standing. This one, he murmured, isn't what it seems. Most would think it's ordinary. But look closer. Wang leaned in and her expression softened into surprise. The grass contains falseness within the truth, she said quietly. Wang Wei's eyes brightened. He plucked the blade from the soil and rubbed it between his fingers. Exactly. The grass itself is real, but the liquid inside is false. As he rubbed it gently, faint white light swirled around the blade. The green faded to yellow, and a single drop of crystalline blue liquid formed in his palm. He held it up, marveling. Inside this drop are over 1,000 restrictions, each linked perfectly. Stable enough to take physical form. These are simple restrictions, yes, but to weave them into such a seamless whole takes brilliance born not of talent, but of experience. Only someone who has lived through countless trials, seen life and death, and grasped the truth of their own Tao could craft this. His tone softened as he gazed into the glowing drop. You need 10,000 years, not of cultivation, but of understanding, to achieve this kind of perfection. Wang looked at him with tender amusement. You think too much, she said softly, but didn't you want to bet? I still say that the one who made these restrictions has not cultivated for 10,000 years. He smiled, the nostalgia fading from his eyes. Very well, we'll see. Let's wait here. When greed arrives, everything will become clear. Wang's lips curved faintly. And when he does, do you think he'll resist? He won't dare, Wang Wei said calmly. His tone carried quiet confidence. The Cloud Celestial couple had been watching from the shadows ever since greed entered the demon spirit land. They knew every current of its power, every secret within its caves. For tens of thousands of years, they had studied this place and mastered its mysteries. And now, through Wang Wei's divination, they had tracked greed and the elusive token he sought. The time had finally come. Far below them, within the dark corridors of the Tide Abyss, Wang Lin and Zhou Yi raced upward through a narrow fissure, the final path leading to the surface beneath the fire demon country. Zhou Yi's celestial sword glowed with sharp light as they sped through the darkness, its energy cutting through the dense air like lightning. After several days of travel, they were close to freedom. But suddenly, Zhou Yi slowed down. His divine sense reached ahead, only to be blocked. Wang Lin. His voice echoed in Wang Lin's mind. There's a strange purple mist ahead. My sword sense can't pierce it, and I sense there are cultivators trapped inside. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. Could it be Mirang Zhou and the others who had entered before him? He steadied his breathing and peered into the depths of the corridor. On the other side of that mist, a chilling scene unfolded. A vast swarm of mosquito beasts hovered in the darkness, their red eyes glowing like embers. Each of them was enormous, wings beating fast enough to shake the air. Their long, needle-like mouths gleaming like blades. Hunger and fury filled their movements as they circled the purple mist. Yet none dared enter. The air thrummed with their buzzing. The sound was dense, oppressive, and violent. Their bodies were covered in thorn-like hair, and many looked gaunt, their abdomens sunken as if they hadn't fed for ages. Bloodstains and scraps of cloth clung to the nearby walls, the remains of those who had perished before. From deep within the swarm came the clash of insect cries, sharp, metallic sounds like blades striking each other. Two massive mosquitoes collided, their jaws locking, sparks flying as they tried to tear one another apart. Then came a sound, a commanding cry from the depths of the swarm. It wasn't just noise, it carried will, authority. The two beasts froze momentarily, trembling, but their frenzy soon overcame them and they resumed their savage fight. The commanding cry came again, louder this time. The swarm split apart, creating a path. From the center emerged a single mosquito beast, far larger than the rest, its body easily 100 feet long, its carapace faintly shining with a tint of purple. 7 gleaming needles were embedded deep into its head, each radiating faint light. Pain flickered in its crimson eyes, yet its presence radiated dominance. The surrounding mosquitoes quivered under its gaze. With a flash of motion, it darted forward, its wings slicing the air with terrifying speed. In an instant, it reached the two fighting mosquitoes and pierced them both through the chest with its long, spear-like mouth. As it inhaled, their bodies shriveled into husks and fell to the ground. The purple mosquito turned, releasing a chilling, echoing cry. The rest of the swarm immediately bowed, their wings trembling in submission. The vast chamber fell silent except for the faint, eerie hum of the purple mist. The leader of the swarm, scarred and ancient, slowly withdrew into the darkness, its faint purple glow flickering like a dying flame. Inside the dense purple mist, an eerie silence hung in the air as Greed sat cross-legged, his eyes glowing faintly with cold light. His expression was one of confidence and hidden excitement. He believed himself in full control of the terrifying swarm of mosquito beasts that surrounded the area. Through the use of his life treasure, the 7 magical needles, he had pierced the head of the king mosquito, binding the creature's will to his own. As long as that king beast was under his control, the entire swarm would obey his commands. Greed was no ordinary cultivator. For countless years, he had wandered the vast starry void, following the scent of treasures across the heavens. He had seen many ancient wonders, survived deadly hunts, and even once fled from a world infested with these same mosquito beasts, a memory that had haunted him ever since. On that distant planet, the air itself was filled with a suffocating gray haze, and around a purple planet, an endless sea of mosquitoes buzzed like a living storm. Even at his peak, Greed had not dared to face them. That day, he had escaped through an ancient transfer array, barely preserving his life. Now, fate had brought these creatures before him once again, but this time, he saw an opportunity rather than terror. Inside the tide abyss, he had stumbled upon them by chance, and through caution and cunning, managed to locate their slumbering king. Carefully, without disturbing their hive, he embedded the 7 magical needles into the creature's head. When he succeeded, he withdrew immediately, avoiding their awakening. Shortly after, Chen Long and the other disciples of the Dalu sword sect had fallen into his trap, becoming prisoners within the purple mist, which was not a natural phenomenon, but a part of his elaborate scheme. Greed's gaze swept over the frightened Dalu sword sect disciples trapped near him. He sneered inwardly. In his eyes, only Chen Long possessed any real value. The others were little more than pawns. He knew that within this mist lay a powerful and mysterious token, a treasure coveted even by Ling Tianao and the All-Seer. However, the token did not appear easily. Through years of observation, Greed had discovered that it manifested only at specific times, seemingly triggered by sacrifice, and so, he waited patiently, plotting to use those trapped around him when the time came. Meanwhile, not far away, Wang Lin rode on Zhou Yi's celestial sword, swiftly approaching the same purple mist. The exit to the fire demon country lay just beyond, but the thick fog blocked their way entirely. Zhou Yi's sword divine sense swept forward, but it failed to pierce the mist. He warned that even their divine senses could not be detected from within, but the same was true in reverse. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed as he studied the strange phenomenon. Then, from within his bag of holding, a ripple stirred. His mosquito beast, his longtime companion, suddenly became restless. Its eyes glowed faintly red, filled with agitation. When Wang Lin sent his divine sense inside, the creature let out a cry of distress. Concerned, Wang Lin released it, and the mosquito shot directly into the purple mist without hesitation. Startled, Wang Lin immediately followed. The mist didn't harm the mosquito, which vanished inside as if the barrier weren't there at all. Zhou Yi followed behind, his sword circling protectively around Wang Lin. Inside, visibility dropped to almost nothing. The dense purple haze suppressed divine sense, leaving Wang Lin nearly blind. His expression remained calm but alert. The 1 million life seals glowed faintly on his forehead, ready to react to danger at a moment's notice. As they advanced slowly, Zhou Yi sent him a divine sense message. He had detected an open space ahead, about 5 kilometers away, and inside were 6 people. One among them radiated strong spiritual pressure, and their robes resembled those of the Dalu sword sect. Wang Lin's mind sharpened. Zhou Yi used his sword divine sense to link with Wang Lin, allowing him to peer through the fog. What he saw confirmed his suspicion. 6 figures stood in a clearing. 5 of them Dalu sword sect disciples, and one, sitting in meditation at the center, was an unfamiliar old man. Before Wang Lin could examine further, The old man opened his eyes. A golden gleam flashed within them as he spoke, his voice echoing coldly through the mist. Which fellow cultivator dares spy on me? This old man's name is Greed. The Da Lu sword sect disciples immediately reacted, faces tightening in alarm. Yet one among them, Chen Long, did not. Instead, his eyes glimmered with something subtle, a trace of joy. Quickly masked. Zhou Yi instantly pulled their divine senses back, severing the connection before Greed could trace it. Inside the mist, Greed frowned, uncertain. The divine sense he had sensed felt like that of an early ascendant cultivator. But there had been something strange about it, a hidden, razor-sharp sword intent intertwined within. Injured as he was, Greed hesitated to act rashly. His cultivation had once been at the illusory yin stage, but now it had fallen to the late stage of ascendant. To face an unknown enemy in such a condition could prove fatal. So he held back. Wang Lin and Zhou Yi returned to their bodies. Zhou Yi asked quietly, "Wang Lin, what do you intend to do?" Wang Lin's expression remained calm, his eyes deep with thought. "Senior, don't you find all of this odd?" he said softly. "Greed's cultivation is high, and those disciples each carry a fragment of Ling Tianou's sword energy. They vanished 100 years ago, yet now they appear here, unmoving. If they have truly been trapped here for a century, why still remain together? There must be another reason." He paused, his voice steady and thoughtful. "And did you notice one of them, the young disciple at the early stage of ascendant? When he saw our divine sense, he showed a flicker of joy. For someone at that level, who has survived countless battles and betrayals, to reveal such emotion so openly, it's deliberate. A signal." A faint smile touched Wang Lin's lips as his sharp gaze met Zhou Yi's. That expression was his way of telling us they're not Greed's allies. It was a silent plea for help. Zhou Yi fell silent, his eyes grew grave as he studied Wang Lin, and for the first time, a deep sense of awe rose within him. Until now, he had viewed Wang Lin as a capable yet ordinary junior, one who had advanced far through persistence and fortune. But now, hearing his calm analysis and keen insight, Zhou Yi realized just how frighteningly perceptive Wang Lin truly was. In that moment, Zhou Yi understood. Wang Lin's strength did not lie merely in cultivation or luck, but in his profound wisdom, his ability to read people and situations with terrifying precision. Wang Lin revealed a calm smile and respectfully clasped his hands toward Zhou Yi. Making a careful request, he advised Zhou Yi to disperse his sword divine sense throughout the purple mist, concealing his presence as much as possible. Wang Lin planned to approach Greed and the others alone. Zhou Yi agreed, warning Wang Lin to be cautious. But inside, he was deeply impressed. With just a few clues, Wang Lin had deduced that Greed was a cautious man who wouldn't recklessly pursue them, an insight that spoke of great wisdom and experience. Wang Lin also suspected that Greed's purpose in this place was to obtain a certain token, one that served as the only key to meet Qing Shuang's father. He urged Zhou Yi not to hold back, and with that, Wang Lin stepped alone into the swirling purple mist. The fog was thick and mysterious, but for Wang Lin, a distance of 5 kilometers was nothing. Soon, he arrived in an open area where 6 gazes immediately locked onto him. One of them, a disciple from the Da Lu sword sect, recognized him instantly and shouted his name, Wang Lin. A wave of killing intent rippled among the sword sect disciples. Yet, Wang Lin remained calm, his expression steady as he surveyed the scene. His eyes brushed past Greed without pausing. Greed, sitting silently, opened his eyes for only a brief moment before closing them again. His face unreadable. A man named Shen Long spoke first, asking if he was Wang Lin of the Heavenly Fate sect's Purple Division. Wang Lin didn't answer. He was testing them, trying to see whether these sword sect members were trapped here or staying by choice. One impatient disciple, unable to restrain himself after being trapped for 100 years, lashed out. His sword flew forward, summoning an evil black-red horse spirit that charged toward Wang Lin with murderous force. Still unshaken, Wang Lin looked past the attack and calmly asked Shen Long if this was how the Da Lu sword sect treated guests. Then, he acted. The life seal on his forehead flared to life, releasing waves of divine energy that collided with the charging sword energy. The evil horse was quickly surrounded by the spreading slaughter aura, which began to consume it. Before the fight could escalate, Chen Long shouted for everyone to stop. With a finger infused with sword intent, he pierced through the slaughter energy and kicked his reckless junior, Wu Ma, out of harm's way. Turning back to Wang Lin, he smiled politely and apologized for the behavior of his companion. Wang Lin nodded, expression calm. The slaughter aura dissolved, but before it vanished, he casually grabbed Wu Ma's sword, erased the divine imprint on it, and stored it in his bag of holding as if it naturally belonged to him. Wu Ma, humiliated and injured, spat blood and glared at him in rage, but Wang Lin replied coldly, saying he would spare him only because he was Chen Long's junior. The sword would remain as a warning. Chen Long backed Wang Lin completely, scolding Wu Ma sharply until he fell silent in fear. Wang Lin now confirmed his suspicion. The Dalu sword sect members were trapped in the purple mist. Just as he had thought, Chen Long's composure and calculated politeness further revealed that they likely needed Wang Lin's help. At that moment, Greed finally opened his eyes. His tone was sharp as he asked why Wang Lin's companion had not appeared. Secretly, Greed was uneasy. 3 times he had prepared to attack Wang Lin, and 3 times a hidden divine sense, Zhou Yi's, had warned him off. Wang Lin replied calmly that his friend preferred solitude and disliked dealing with strangers. He then asked if Greed too was of the Dalu sword sect. Greed sneered in response, and Chen Long quickly introduced him, revealing that Greed was an elder-level cultivator, once immensely powerful but now injured and unable to wield more than late-stage ascendant strength. Chen Long then suggested that they all join forces to break through the mist's barrier and escape the demonic beasts surrounding it. Greed was about to refuse, but then he noticed something. The mist itself seemed to contract slightly, as if reacting to some hidden power. His eyes narrowed, and after a pause, he agreed. Chen Long's face showed relief. He bowed to Wang Lin and quietly explained that once someone entered the purple mist, there was no exit except one path, blocked by a vast horde of demonic beasts. To escape, they would have to fight their way through. Wang Lin nodded and flew beside him as the group advanced through the fog. Each of them was on guard. Greed, leading in front, was wary of the hidden divine sense. Chen Long maintained a secret spell of protection, while Wang Lin surrounded himself with life seals. Even the lesser disciples followed cautiously, their hatred for Wang Lin barely contained. Soon, the edge of the purple mist appeared. The fog was thinner here, and divine senses could extend outward. What Wang Lin saw beyond made him stop in shock. His breath caught. Outside was a vast field swarming with monstrous mosquito beasts. The sight stirred a deep memory within him, reminiscent of the ancient god's world he had once witnessed. None of the others realized that Wang Lin not only recognized these creatures, he shared a connection with them. Among the beasts was his own mosquito companion. Hidden within the mist, it hesitated at the edge, sensing a familiar yet intimidating aura, its kin. When the horde noticed it, their aggression vanished, replaced with recognition. They circled around it, brushing their long mouths gently against it, and then called for it to return. After a brief moment of hesitation, Wang Lin's mosquito followed them, merging into the massive swarm unseen by anyone. Meanwhile, Greed reached the border of the mist. He paused for only an instant, then turned suddenly, eyes widening as the entire purple mist began to churn violently. Roars of friction echoed as if the mist itself was alive. Chen Long and the others were alarmed. Greed, however, was overjoyed. Laughing madly, he pulled out a small furnace that emitted streams of purple mist, wrapping his body in its glow. Then, with a powerful step, he exited the mist completely. Outside, the mosquito horde let out deafening cries that shook the air and reached deep into the purple fog. The Dalu sword sect disciples became disoriented and panicked as the mist continued to contract, closing in from all sides. Greed's laughter echoed through the storm. I've waited 100 years for this. Now the purple mist will merge into one, and you all will become sacrifices to fulfill my wish. Inside the collapsing mist, Wang Lin's eyes turned cold. At that instant, Zhou Yi's calm voice reached his mind, explaining that celestial spiritual energy surrounded the edges of the mist, trapping all cultivators without a celestial root. But Zhou Yi himself was unaffected and could carry Wang Lin out safely. Wang Lin's gaze shifted toward the terrified Dalu sword sect disciples. After a brief moment of thought, he made his decision. He didn't escape immediately. Instead, he slowly began to move backward. The purple mist began to contract violently, its edges thickening into a dense layer of corrosive gas that devoured anything it touched. The disciples of the Dalu sword sect were trapped, struggling in vain to break through, their swords and spells dissolving into the haze, even when one of them summoned the legendary Ling Tianou's sword energy. The attack was instantly absorbed by the mist, leaving them pale with despair. Amid this chaos, Chen Long turned toward Wang Lin, shouting anxiously for help, but Wang Lin's expression remained calm and distant. The voice of greed echoed through the mist, cold and mocking, declaring that since Wang Lin had interfered, his fate was sealed. Ignoring greed's words, Wang Lin continued retreating deeper into the fog. His eyes flickered with sharp awareness as he calculated the situation. The Dalu sword sect disciples were desperate and disorganized. Their fear revealed a truth. Greed had trapped them here, using them as pawns in some sinister ritual. As the mist tightened around them, Zhou Yi's urgent voice sounded in Wang Lin's mind. If we don't leave now, even I won't be able to get us out. But Wang Lin's tone was steady. Wait a bit longer, he replied, his gaze fixed on the group of 5 disciples in the distance. 5 men, 4 strands of Ling Tianou's sword energy, 5 treasured swords. A cold light flashed in his eyes. Across the battlefield, Chen Long's expression grew grim. Watching his junior brothers panic, he was filled with regret for his hesitation. For the century he had spent obeying greed's lies. With a deep breath, his eyes hardened with rare determination. Junior brothers, he murmured bitterly, I'm sorry. A crimson glow flared between Chen Long's eyebrows. It pulsed once, and then burst forth as a blinding streak of sword energy. This was not one of the lesser strands given by their master. This was a life sword energy, refined from Ling Tianou's very soul. Its power shook the heavens. The moment that sword light erupted, the contracting mist froze for an instant. Outside, greed's expression darkened. He recognized what Chen Long had unleashed. With a roar, Chen Long wrapped himself in the scarlet sword aura and charged headlong into the purple gas. Sparks of pure energy ignited around him as the two forces clashed, creating an explosion of light. The air screamed as Chen Long forced his way through, and, with a final burst of strength, he broke free from the mist's edge, vanishing into the world outside. Inside, the remaining disciples were left in despair. The mist sealed again behind Chen Long, now thicker and deadlier than ever. Wu Ma, his eyes bloodshot and filled with madness, turned toward his companions. If we're doomed anyway, he shouted, then I'll take Wang Lin with me to the grave. The others, trapped and furious, followed his lead. Their divine senses were useless in the fog. They were blind, frightened, and desperate. But Wang Lin was different. Within the haze, his movements were silent, ghost-like. Zhou Yi's voice thundered once more in his mind. 10 breaths. Wang Lin, in 10 breaths, I'll take you out whether you're ready or not. Wang Lin's tone was sharp. Then help me lock on to their positions with your sword divine sense. In that instant, Zhou Yi's vast divine perception spread through the mist like invisible blades. Marking each target, Wang Lin moved, swift as lightning. The first disciple, a man in the mid-stage of soul transformation, barely sensed the cold breeze before his head was severed cleanly from his body. Wang Lin caught it mid-air, stripped the sword energy sealed within, and vanished again into the mist. The second disciple, Cixi, stood trembling, his sword raised, unable to see beyond a few feet. Suddenly, he glimpsed a blur, a human shape. Who's there? He shouted and threw his sword forward. But before the blade could fly far, an icy hand gripped the back of his neck. His body stiffened, his life force drained in an instant, and he collapsed into a dried husk. However, the moment his body fell, the Ling Tianao sword energy within him burst free and exploded, forcing Wang Lin to dodge back through the haze. Wu Ma, meanwhile, was shaking with hatred. Since losing his sword earlier to Wang Lin, his anger had burned endlessly. Now he clutched a final strand of sword energy, waiting for the slightest sign of movement. When he sensed a disturbance ahead, he roared, "Wang Lin, die," and prepared to strike. But then, a familiar voice called softly, "Senior apprentice brother, it's me." It was Xu Liguo, his junior brother. Wu Ma hesitated, lowering his hand. In that single heartbeat, a hand emerged from the mist beside him. A single finger pressed against the center of his forehead. A sharp crack echoed. Wu Ma's eyes widened in disbelief, blood spilling from his lips as he collapsed, lifeless. Exactly 10 breaths later, Zhou Yi's celestial sword shot forward, breaking through the dense fog and carrying Wang Lin out. Behind them, the mist shrank to a fraction of its former size, coiling like a living creature devouring itself. Wang Lin sighed softly. Unfortunately, there's still one sword I couldn't take. Out of the 4 disciples, he had managed to extract only 2 more sword energies, adding up to 3 total. Still, what he had done in such a short time was nothing short of extraordinary. Zhou Yi, who had witnessed everything, felt a deep respect for Wang Lin. His decisiveness, his composure, and his ability to seize opportunity even amidst chaos, these were traits of a true cultivator. Outside the mist, the battle raged on. Chen Long, who had escaped, was surrounded by countless mosquito beasts. His sword energy flashed wildly as he fought, shouting furiously toward Greed. "Greed, I want to see how you'll explain this to my master." Greed, standing at a distance, sneered coldly. Even with control over the king mosquito, he dared not approach too closely. The swarm numbered in the tens of thousands. Violent and uncontrollable. "When your master learns of this, I'll already have my explanation," he said darkly. "That is, if he ever learns of it at all." At that moment, a sharp sound split the air. The purple mist behind Greed exploded outward, and Wang Lin emerged, standing atop Zhou Yi's celestial sword. Greed's expression froze, then twisted into malice. With a single thought, he sent a mental command to the swarm. The air filled with a deafening buzz as thousands of mosquito beasts turned toward Wang Lin, charging like a living storm. But before they could strike, a piercing cry rose above them all, a sound that silenced the entire horde. From within the mass of wings and fangs, a familiar purple figure burst out, rushing straight toward Wang Lin. It was his mosquito beast. In this episode, we see Wang Lin pushed into a fierce and unpredictable confrontation where survival depends on both strategy and timing. As the purple mist spreads and traps everyone within its deadly grasp, alliances crumble and true intentions are revealed. Wang Lin faces the terrifying power of Greed, whose manipulation and ambition threaten to destroy everyone present. Amidst chaos and despair, Chen Long finally acts with true resolve, unleashing a devastating sword energy that momentarily breaks through the encroaching danger, though at a great cost. Inside the deadly mist, Wang Lin moves like a phantom, striking with precision and decisiveness, taking the sword energies of his fallen enemies while evading certain death. His calm amidst disaster and his ruthless efficiency prove once again why he walks a path none dare to follow. Even Zhou Yi, witnessing his actions, can't help but feel deep respect for Wang Lin's courage and cunning. As the mist tightens and Greed's control grows unstable, the battlefield erupts into chaos. Surrounded by countless ferocious mosquito beasts and facing an overwhelming threat, Wang Lin's own tamed beast makes a dramatic return, shifting the balance once more and hinting that this deadly struggle is far from over. If you enjoyed or found this episode helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the latest episode of Renegade Immortal.